drops off that top line. He picks up the ball. He creates. There are match winners at every level of the field here for Flamengo.
And for Los Angeles, they needed a late winner the last time they were on this field, but it also just shows their ability. And here's their lineup.
And they used substitutes to change the game in the last game. Now Kyron Lumsden, he starts in this game because he earned his spot and won his place on the field. And there is so much talent across this team for LAFC. Tamir Radovitz, the game-winning goal as well in that one. A lot of different pieces that they'll like. It's exciting to see LAFC, one of the most creative possession teams in MLS, go up against this Flamengo side.
And for Flamengo, they needed a late winner as well. It came in the 50th minute from Teresa, and so they had to play against Houston Dynamo in a match that just shown how well these MLS sides have played against the top talent from international ranks. And again, LAFC, a formidable opponent for Flamengo as well.
I think people were a little surprised to see how Houston played. As you said, it's kind of always been assumed these big Brazilian clubs, they're a class above, and maybe the top one or two MLS academies can compete with them, but the River Plates, the Flamengos, now we have Palmeiras at this tournament. Those have always been sort of untouchables, and so to see what Houston did in that game, to see the way Montreal sort of battled back in their second half against Flamengo, I think that raised a couple eyebrows and makes it a little bit more exciting to see this, because we're not sure where LAFC stands. At the U15 level, LAFC against Real Madrid, I was shocked to see how hard it was for LAFC to play in this game. This is sort of the same version at the U17 level.
So LAFC got their late winner. Flamengo got their late winner. So again, these teams going to be back and forth for this entire match. Los Angeles in their all-black kits here in this 86-degree day. Flamengo in the all-white. And we're off here in the final quarterfinal match of the Generation ADIDAS Cup on the U17 side.
So Flamengo not normally high-pressing as a unit throughout the game, but when they pick their moments, they go together. And that's the thing that will stand out about this Flamengo side. Whatever it is they do, it'll be cohesive. The distance from center back to center forward will be tight. They will move as one unit, and that makes it so tough to play through for LAFC. If you get your head down and you can't find a long ball, you're in danger of getting in trouble pretty quickly.
Quickly to the goalkeeper, Glowacki, and he was called upon multiple times in this past match. The last time LAFC was on this field just 24 hours ago. So ball quickly back, and again that press put on. Ball pinballs around. Bill sends it forward. Clipped on. Shot taken first time and grabbed by Glowacki.
Are you kidding me? That shot in a perfect corner there from Bill. He helps start the attack. Good physicality in central midfield. He makes the run out left, and he catches that exactly where you want to put it. A credit to Glowacki for being equal to it.
He was the player to watch the first time we saw this side earlier in a very convincing victory in the group stage. And now a foul and a free kick upcoming for Flamengo.
Flamengo dangerous on set pieces. You can already see the size in the back from Lemos and Zhao, the two center backs, towering coming into the box. So if you're LAFC, these are moments you don't want to give away. In the corner, there's no danger. You don't want to get called for being over-aggressive for no reason.
Pietro and Bill, the two options. Free kick coming from just in front of the corner flag. Sent in. Ball bounces in the box and careens out all the way as far as Lemos, who sends it back. Headed away again by LAFC. Now David heads it around. Shot. Blocked again. And this one is punted out for a goal kick.
And you just already see Flamengo, how competitive they are. Every 50-50, every loose ball, they're winning. And they are physically a little more developed than a lot of the LAFC players, but it's that aggression That's why the GA Cup exists, to bring international teams in and teach MLS teams that next level of competitiveness, of aggression. And so LAFC is going to have to rise to that challenge.
The ball comes out for a throw-in. Radovitz sends it wide. All the way out to Ortega. Evans trying to slip free, but no way through. Quickly taken back by LAFC. What a giveaway. David on the ball. 1v1.
Tackle there from Nixon. Nixon tried to initiate contact early. David bounced away from it, but Nixon, so good moving laterally. He's able to stay with the attacker and win the final tackle.
Evans has his shot clipped, and it's brought in by Rafael.
Bill playing a little bit higher in this game than we've seen over the course of this tournament, maybe playing a bit more as like a second forward off of David. So that's something LAFC is going to have to track throughout the game, because you don't want Bill to be able to get open. You're going to need to have someone, whether it's DeCarlo Guerrero or a fullback, helping defensively all the time.
Bill lays it off, the shot taken and sent wide by Pedro.
And now Fabian Sandoval, the head coach, going over, talking to his team, because this was a moment where Bill's wide open. He's allowed to flick on. He then is able to get open here as a second runner. And so for LAFC, I think he came into this game thinking, we're always going to have one forward to deal with. We can push our fullbacks into the attack. We can deal with that just with our two center backs. Now you've got a second player, so you're going to need support somewhere else.
Now Evans streaks forward, but quickly taken away.
And again, rest defense, what we talk about. Rest defense is being in position while your team's on the ball to be able to defend correctly if your team loses the ball. We saw there for LAFC, 3 players back to defend 3 players. That's not enough support.
Now Wibowo sends it to Radovitz, finds his right foot, gets all of it, but sends it wide.
Feeling confident, though, off that goal yesterday. It took him over 55 minutes to find the breakthrough, but it was a one-touch finish for Radovitz to put this team into this quarterfinal match. And I think feeling confidence. We didn't see him as quick to get to his own shot yesterday. I like that move there. Get yourself outside the defender, set your feet, and he caught all of that ball. If it's on frame, that's a dangerous chance.
So both teams have found their way into the game 6 minutes in. Hasn't been too much searching. They're both here trying to make their way into the semifinals.
I think it's a good start for LAFC. And I keep referencing back to that U17 match, but that really is our one situation where we saw an LAFC team with the same style, same definition in their style, being beaten at it. And the question was, how would Flamengo and this LAFC team react? And I think for LAFC, we've seen the fullbacks get high. We've seen them in possession. We've seen them be able to play inside out and back again. So positive start, I think, showing a lot of confidence against the big opponent.
Teresa for Flamengo has scored multiple times in this match and multiple times in this tournament. And for LAFC, having to defend, but also having to find their way into the match against a very formidable side. Done well up to this point. All the way as far as back to Pedro, who pumps it forward to Bill. Very skilled on the ball. And it just finds its way out.
Bill, one of 4 players in this Flamengo side who's been consistently with the Brazilian U17 national team. One that we expect to be a threat wherever the U17 World Cup is later this year, as we were calling it Peru 4 days ago. And that's no longer the case, but Brazil, the national, like, we're talking about the team. So when you're here with these guys and the coaches are talking to you and they're like, yep, these 4 are with the national team. That's a term you hear. fairly often. But then when you think about what national team that is, it just kind of blows your mind.
Teresa. Now David finds space through one set of legs, but not through another. And Glowowski has been busy here early.
And then when you see David play, you think, yep, that's why. Look, undersized center forward. He's playing a year up as well. So he's an 07, playing in an 06 competition at the U17 level and able to create that space and get decent power on the shot.
Ball lost, and Evans sends it forward. Arteaga clips it in. It's cleared out of the box.
And just no runners in the box for LAFC because of the way the midfield's a little disconnected right now. That ball gets to Arteaga so quickly that the cross played in. Really, the only option is Wabowo, the other winger. Javier Hernandez, not in the box. Radovitz, not in the box. Evans, not in the box. And so for LAFC, you got to understand that timing a little bit more, whether it's taking a beat, whether it's trying to cut back to your right foot and curl the ball in, or find someone charging into the top of the box for a pullback.
Santiago joins the attack from defense. Has a man to his right, sends it there. Back to Santiago, and he earns a corner.
And you see that chance now. 4 runners in the box for LAFC. So with that little bit of buildup, you allow your teammates to get in. Credit to this man, Santiago. He was put in a bad spot by his center back under pressure. He rides the first tackle off his first touch, and he's able to keep striding forward.
So a corner upcoming for LAFC. 10 minutes into this U17 knockout match. To the back post, Nixon was rising. The ball rolls out.
We saw Evans yesterday in the first half against SKC. LAFC had so much possession, they took about 9 or 10 corner kicks. What I like about Evans' service is he doesn't try and hit it as hard as he can. He hits simple balls that allow his attacking players to adjust and get under it. And that's, as a player, I always appreciated was if you drill it here, if someone's not making a perfect run, we have no chance at a goal. If you float it to the far post, put it into a dangerous spot at the near post, people can adjust, get under the ball, and it allows you to keep an attack going.
Attack is on now for Flamengo. David. And now a penalty.
It looks like a handball as this one came across the box. That's heartbreaking for LAFC. They lose the ball in midfield. They recover. It feels like they've adjusted. And that hand back behind the body there for Diaz. I think it's ball to hand, but that doesn't matter anymore. It's outside of his body. It's making his shape bigger, and it affects the play. So it's a penalty kick here. I think this is tough for LAFC in that I thought they were good for the last 10 minutes, but you can see the ball clearly hits the hand. So a tough moment for them.
Now Bill has his moment. But it's stopped! Dylan Glowowski with this first chance.
Unbelievable save here. Look at how it sticks off his right hand. No rebound, no follow-up. You're talking about one of the best young attackers in South America. And Glowowski steps up to the challenge. What a moment for LAFC. That's a bailout there for LAFC. No one more than DeCarlo Guerra, the youngest player on the field of 2008. At the base of the midfield, they have so much trust in this young player. They build their game around him. He was caught in possession, higher speed of play, more physicality, and fortunate to see his team still at 0-0. Now he needs to understand. Forget about it. Get it out of your mind. Move on. There's a reason you're in the spot you're in with LAFC. It's because you are a high-level player and they believe in you.
Now Radovic on it after the magnanimous save from Glowacki.
Great work there from Radovic.
Back on the ball. Has help behind him. Works back to Santiago. Santiago, shot, spills out, but Rafael does just enough.
The skill level is so high in this match. You come from the penalty kick. LAFC working it down the right side. I think Radovic has raised his game to the level of these opponents. Santiago, he tries the scoop pass on the run. It's deflected away by a defender. He's able to take it down, and he hits that shot cleanly.
Bill flicks this one on to Pedro. 1v1. Shot goes out for a goal kick. Looked like it might have taken a ricochet.
And look at this touch from Bill. We have seen throughout this generation ADIDAS Cup for some teams when they've been able to cleanly build out of the back into those pockets, having attackers drop down and flick it on to an on-running fullback or winger has been very dangerous. It's great work there, but credit to Diaz. Doesn't go to ground early. He's able to continue to stay with the attacker and able to block, I thought, the cross at the last second for a corner kick, but a goal kick otherwise. Good work there from Guerra.
LAFC will take it. Hernandez can't beat his defender. And although it's been about 3 or 4 minutes, that stop was something special from Glowacki.
I can't get over the fact that the ball just doesn't move once it touches his hand. It's almost like he sandwiched it between his wrist and the ground, and I think it was a Flamengo player coming in first for the rebound. So if he doesn't do that, I think it's a tap-in. So an unbelievable moment in a... I can't.
Speaking of unbelievable moments.
These two teams, this is exactly what we wanted to see from this game. We've seen some games where maybe teams have been scared to lose, haven't opened it up, haven't played as themselves. These are the two of the best teams we are seeing out here trying to create special moments. That is a towering head from Lemos.
Emotion, agility, precision happening all throughout the field right now. And a free kick upcoming for LAFC. Halfway through this first half, our last quarterfinal of the day. Palmeiras and Philadelphia playing one field over. And the winner of this match will play the winner of that match in the semifinals.
It's happening quickly. Feels like we just started, and now all of a sudden we're into the semifinals. Well, one more match.
But no shortage of action here early between LAFC and Flamengo. We've seen a penalty kick blocked. Free kick quickly taken. Evans trying to turn, cannot, but the ball at the foot of Radovic. He can't send it forward.
There's a lot of physicality in this game. I think a lot of that is good. You want these players to learn how to play at the highest level. That's what it's like. And it's funny, when you talk about Brazilian soccer, everyone talks about the flair and the creativity. I remember one time it was Rodney Wallace, Costa Rican international MLS player who had gone down, played in Brazil for a little while, came back to MLS his first game. He was laying guys out. And I said something to him that week, and he goes, "Did you think it was too much?" And I was like, no. I enjoyed it. He said, "Yeah, in Brazil, it's just so much more physical." And I hadn't really ever heard anyone say that, because when you think of Brazil, you think of tiki-taka, you think of creativity, you think of Ronaldinho. But the game is so hard around that creativity. And we see that with Palmeiras and Flamengo here in this tournament. We've seen it in the past with Atletico Paranaense and some of the other Brazilian clubs that have come to this competition. And I think LAFC, after the first 5 minutes, they've elevated to that.
Not always about the finesse.
You got to earn the finesse. You got to bring the strength to earn the space. But also shows you why it's brave to go from nutmegs down to Brazil.
Bill on the end line. David slips it back. Pedro. No. Glowacki called on again. David almost heads it forward, and the attacks are coming at a high rate for Flamengo.
And credit to Glowacki that he's prepared to make this save because he's coming out for the ball. The deflection happens. He's able to react quickly.
And another blast. This one by Menegatti. And now Nixon having to take some time to get up. Both hands on his knees. He's been put to work here early. But
as a goalkeeper, so often you don't have much to do. In the last game against SKC, credit to him, he had nothing to do in the first half. Stepped up big when he had to, which is what you want from a goalkeeper. Stay connected, stay involved, stay in the game. Obviously not the case in this game. This game is all happening in front of him, but he's done a really good job. Distribution now, you could use a little work. You saw in that last one, while we were in the highlight, he turned the ball over. That's led to 2 more shooting opportunities, but he stepped up big when his team needed him. And as a goalkeeper, that's all you can ask for. You're hoping you don't get called on, but when you do, you're hoping you're able to be equal to the task. And that man Bill putting on a show.
Yeah, we talked about him early on. He's had so many chances here early on in this match.
Save again. I cannot believe glue on the glove there. It does hit him on the inside of the right glove. That's such a strong arm to keep it from deflecting, and then Bill will try anything from anywhere. And we are in for a treat. If this man scores a goal, it is going to be a special moment.
So Bill, who, again, has already put his fingerprints all on this match. Nixon taking his time. He's up and walking around. Like you mentioned earlier, to play for the national team, and not just any national team, the Brazilian national team, is something to write home about.
It would be a career achievement alone. These players will go on to more things, but having that on your resume at any point is pretty impressive. Nixon back on the field. That's big for LAFC. I think he's been really good in this tournament. He's not the tallest center back, but his lateral movement is incredible. He reads the bump really well, so he makes contact with attackers early so that he's able to control that situation, control the interaction, rather than allowing attackers to get into space where he has to chase. I think he's been great. He's really comfortable stepping in with the ball to the second level and helping build up the attack.
Ball sent out by Pedro as Santiago was attempting to counter.
Credit to the way LAFC's played. Pedro's been more of a defender than an attacker as the left winger for this Fluminense side. Sorry, Flamengo side. I did the wrong one. Every Flamengo fan is jumping up and down yelling. And that's the way you beat this team, is by taking the best attackers and making them play on their heels, making them work defensively and get tired on the other side of the field.
Another throw-in for LAFC. Hernandez has nowhere to go. The throw Throw-in coming for LAFC for a third time, much to the chagrin of the Flamengo sideline.
Play there, quick.
If you are Flamengo, you have to be careful here. You don't want to get too wrapped up into the calls and into the physicality. You don't want it to start to affect the way you play. And right now it feels like from the coaching staff all the way down, there's frustration.
Goes out. So LAFC earns it here as we wind things down in the first half. 30-minute halves here in the quarterfinals. If there's no winner after the first half and second half, we will go to kicks from the mark. Evans ready to send it in to the back post and headed down and cleared away.
And that's what I talked about from Evans, those high looping corner kicks. If someone's able to rise up and meet it, that's an opportunity on goal. If not, you have players on the back post to clean it up, put it back across the face of the box, and that's another dangerous moment. So rather than a low-driven ball, which is a goal or it's going out, it gives you a little bit more flexibility.
Right now, after Flamengo had multiple chances early on in this first half, LAFC now having some set pieces, looking for their moment of magic. Clipped over, into the box. And now this Brazilian side trying to break free, but another free kick upcoming
It's a big
for
moment.
LAFC.
It's a big moment there for Guerra, that he's able to read the play. It's numbers going the other way. If this young man doesn't make that tackle, he steps in bravely, wins it when he has to, and then he draws the foul. I really like the reaction to DeCarlo Guerra in this game.
After a man goes down in the box, nothing comes of it. And for LAFC, it seems like they've been here in this offensive third for the last 4 or 5 minutes or so, just are knocking at the door.
Well, of course, that's exactly what you want if you're LAFC. You want to be in the attack. You want to have the ball. They like to, what they say, play. But at the same time, you don't want it to go for nothing. You don't want to come out with a moral victory. And what we've seen at the GA Cup very often has been MLS teams playing better but not getting the reward for it. And international competition, international clubs being ruthless and efficient with their chances.
Bill off the long ball from Inagati. And Nixon gets a gold star here in this first half, sends that one out.
Good recognition there. It felt like for a moment Nixon might try and play it off of Bill, try and earn a throw in. As that ball sat up, I like just being safe. You're one-on-one with one of the best attacking players in the game. Just slide that ball out, get your numbers behind, and defend as a team.
Pietro on the touchline. Earns a corner.
Lemos and Zhao, the two center backs coming forward here. The options.
Two men on the ball from the corner spot. Pietro is there. Outswinging ball, headed on and over for Flamengo.
LAFC defending cleanly around their 6. If that ball goes all the way over, you can live with it, but nothing dangerous around the goal and nothing that an attacking player can run onto. Really impressive first half for LAFC. Good work from Wabowo to recover. That was a mistake from him, and Nixon knows. If Santiago's closed down, that means that right channel's open. Wabowo has to be coming to the ball as the next option. We've seen Flamengo do that already in this half, and so a miscommunication there, but credit to Wabowo for working hard and getting back.
Bit of space for a moment, but is quickly cut down by Schillickman.
I love Schillickman's game. He was dominant in Flamengo's previous matchup that we saw against Montreal, as well as their knockout stage game against Houston. He just fills in every single hole. Right back goes forward, ball comes back out, he's playing right back. Left back, same thing. Bill gets into the attack, he steps up one, ready to counter press. Just an all-around intelligent player and never loses his battles. So for LAFC, if you're able to bypass him, you've got to be clean with your first touch, and you've got to be aggressive going forward, because once he recovers, he's going to put the snuff on the attack.
Headed on, David, one touch, and it's cleared away. Just shows you the quality of this Brazilian side.
Comes out of nowhere. It's a throw-in down the right side. 3 touches later, it's a shot on goal. David off his chest at full speed. He's still able to gather himself well enough to direct that on goal. And Diaz, you're not sure as a defender, you take that ball with you. You're not letting anything on frame, even if your goalkeeper was going to be able to get that one. Now you defend as a team.
3 minutes of stoppage time. Ball sent in, down in the box, and a rocket of a shot. Does not trouble the goalkeeper.
Player down now, getting hit in the head with the ball. So the trainers will come out and look at it, and LAFC fortunate off that chance. Because I said you defend as a team, they were not tracking their markers at all in that opportunity. It has been a really good half for LAFC in this first half. You say it again, you need a goal for that quality play. You don't get anywhere at this level with moral victories.
And the side for Flamengo and LAFC definitely living up to what we expected. And here's how the rest of the bracket looks right now. Columbus getting the win over New York just a few moments ago, and Dallas with the win over Atlas 2-0. So those are the 2 teams on the other side of the bracket in the semifinals. Right now, Palmeiras and Philadelphia Union still locked in a dead heat. And so this matchup living up to what you expect, but also Palmeiras and Philadelphia Union doing the same thing.
Yeah, those are 2 good teams, and those are teams that probably have more similar style. They're a bit more direct for both of them. I thought Columbus was really good against NYCFC. The finish just wasn't there, and that's kind of been the story for Columbus in this tournament. 1-0 win over Leon, the Manchester United game, and Olympico in stoppage time. But I thought they were great in that game as well. So for Columbus to be able to get through to this point and not be finishing at your best, I think is positive, but it'll have to come if you want to win this championship. And I'm really excited for that Columbus FC Dallas match. I thought FC Dallas was pretty clean against Atlas. 2-0, maybe flattering for Atlas in the end in that result. And then on this side of the bracket, you just got powerhouses.
Radovitz leaves it in front. The shot is wide.
Radovitz has been so good in this game, living in this right-hand channel. Whether it's him making the run over the top or cutting in himself, he's been dangerous. Maybe he could take another touch, get to the end line, and then pull it back, make things a little tougher for the defenders. But he knows the run of Hernandez is there.
Christian Diaz comes back onto the field, which is a fantastic sight after being down for a moment after that last corner kick from Flamengo.
I haven't seen Flamengo build out a whole lot. They went short on this one, and they were immediately able to play through LAFC's pressure.
Evans slips forward, looking for options, decides to take it on his own.
Yeah, we've seen this from Evans' game. He knows when he has an opening. He knows he has the green light to take shots. It's a really good entry pass from Guerra. He breaks lines. He puts it on Evans' front foot so that he can go forward on the half turn. Evans driving forward, understanding the spacing there, and able to get the shot away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what.
That's tough. Diaz
And
just
Diaz
down.
just came back in. Takes a hard spill.
We talked about the physicality in this game. There is no space right now to step back, and so both these teams are going in hard on 50-50s, going hard on every challenge. I don't think that one was malicious from David. As the defender rises up behind him, I don't think David really knows about it. Diaz taking a couple big knocks here in this first half.
Yeah.
Maybe you could argue against what I said. He's clearly trying to initiate contact. I don't know that he knows Diaz is going up in the air. I think he's trying to bump Diaz and try and get that ball to bounce again.
So we played 4 minutes extra, which means halftime has arrived. No score between Flamengo and LAFC here at the half. We'll take a look back at the rest of the day, along with looking back at this matchup in the first half. A little bit later here on MLS Season Pass. Flamengo and LAFC, a spot in the semifinals on the line. The final spot in the semifinals on the line here in the 2023 Generation ADIDAS Cup. Flamengo wearing the all-white kits with red trim, and LAFC in the all-black with gold trim.
These two coaching staffs not needing to make changes at halftime. One of those rare games where maybe both sides are happy with the way the game has gone. At 0-0, this second half's going to be a treat. I thought that first half, maybe the best soccer we've seen so far this week.
After the ball was clipped in by David, Bill took a wrong touch, maybe the first wrong thing he's done today, as it dribbled right in front of him. And now the free kick upcoming for LAFC.
Get up! Get up!
And David, when you don't make any subs at half, what is the conversation then with your team about how to attack the second half?
Yeah, there are going to be specific things these two teams look at. I think LAFC is going to talk, one, about their build-outs. I think they want to be more pre-planned when they build out from their goal kicks. I think they're going to talk about rest defense as well, being ready for moments like this when they turn it over. And then I think it's a conversation about those connections in the final third. We've seen a little bit, some interchange, some triangles on the edge of the box to create chances. I think LAFC wants more of that. So that's probably the big conversation, the big focus is for them. On the flip side, for Flamengo, they have to find their midfield. They are a team that likes to be direct at times, but LAFC was able to play through them, and Flamengo never really dictated the game in possession. Everything was direct to Bill and David, and then playing off that. So I think this team's going to look to find Schillickman where they can in spots. We haven't even really said Mengadi's name at all. I think they're going to want to try and play through their feet a little bit and control the pace of play.
LAFC going to be on the ball now. Quickly taken, and now must be retaken. It was a tough match last time out versus Houston for Flamengo. This ball is cooked in near the back post. And a goal kick upcoming. LAFC also had a tough time against SKC in their round of 16 matchup. But again, these teams sticking to the plan throughout those matchups had just enough.
I think this LAFC team, the club will be really pleased with the way they played throughout this tournament.
Speaking of pleased, James Arteaga makes an impact of epic proportion here early in the second half. LAFC goes up 1-0.
You asked, what difference can you make if you don't make subs? We talked about what this team wants to do out the back. We talked about what they want to do in rest defense, but here is the high press. DeCarlo Guerra coming higher. The young man wins the ball back for his side. He puts it in a dangerous area, and this is why you shoot. Bodies in front of the goalkeeper. You get power on this shot. It flicks past Raphael in goal. There's nothing he can do about it. And now LAFC have the lead against one of the favorites in this tournament early in this second half.
And you love to see the U15s come out onto the field and celebrate with the older side. A moment for Arteaga. And LAFC takes a 1-0 lead on top of Flamengo. We saw Palmeiras go down as well 1-0 to Philadelphia Union. So potentially an all MLS semifinal. But there's a lot of soccer to be played left in this match.
We talked about it a bit in the first half. Guerra, the youngest player on the field, at the base of the midfield for LAFC. So much responsibility, so much trust. He had his pocket pick. That was the opportunity that led to the penalty kick for Flamengo. We said, don't hide. Don't put your head down. Step into the game. Be brave. For him to step high, read that play, make the tackle, and create the goal. That's exactly what you want to see from players at this level. Learning from their mistakes, growing at this competitive level. He's a special young player. He's got a bright future for both club and country, and that is one of the big moments of this tournament.
Flicked on in the box off the Evans service. And LAFC trying to add to their total. Now Bill racing down the left side. And the goal scorer, Arteaga, comes in to defend.
And this is going to be a learning experience for all of us now in what does Flamengo look like when they chase? We haven't seen them chase so far in this competition. So where do the cracks get exposed as they push numbers forward? My assumption would be, from the coaching staff, it's everything the same for the next 10, 15 minutes. You've got plenty of time. You've built your system in a way for you to create goals anyway. You've got David, you've got Bill, you've got chance creators out there. Teresa scoring in this tournament as well. Then as the game wears along, you start to shift things.
Sent in, headed on, and blocked again by Glowowski.
What a performance for Glowowski. He is on his game right now. This is the last thing you want to see. A header at the near post, down and low. It's got pace. Goalkeeper on his toes, and he's over to cover it quickly. And again, he handles it well, so there's no rebound out in front of himself.
David sends it forward to Teresa. He's doubled. His space closed down quickly.
Off your shoulder. See where you're going, Jack. That's the line of pass.
Not shy. Teresa, who had the game winner last time out. Again, Glowowski, sure-handed.
Teresa unloads on that one. Quick turn. And the technique is just such a high level in the ball striking for this Flamengo side. Anytime they're able to turn on goal and get a half chance, you can feel the power in the shot sitting so close to the field. Philadelphia Union still celebrating their 1-0 win over Palmeiras.
And they should. A matchup that we pinpointed as one of the big ones. And to win a heavyweight matchup like that one, deservedly so.
And we don't have exact stats on this, but my guess is since international clubs have started attending GA Cup, there's never been a U17 semifinal with all MLS sides. So if LAFC were to close this out, I think it would be a historic moment here at this tournament.
And just growing from what we saw last year, both teams of MLS caliber winning at the U15 level and the U17 level, and now multiple MLS teams in each final. We see it at the U15 ranks, 3 out of the 4 teams from MLS, and now the chance for all 4 teams in U17 to be from MLS. speaks to the growth of the game here in the States.
Absolutely. It's all about the competitiveness for MLS to be able to challenge. And it's the little moments. The soccer has been there for a really long time for these MLS sides to be able to compete, but we've talked about it a lot. Finishing matches, 50-50s, understanding the game recognition, playing your style, but knowing when to step away from it for a few moments to get a little bit of relief, to bypass pressure, you know, when to go down and take a half second more. It's all these little things. And a lot of the international teams have done better than the MLS sides for years, but it's come on in leaps and bounds, especially over the last 4 or 5 years.
Santiago plays the ball across. Now a long shot, slips back out. Radovitz pumps it in. Almost another chance for LAFC, and they can smell it.
And this is what Flamengo looked like in the first 10 minutes, taking shots, deflections. They were first to react, second chances coming quickly, and now Guerra reads the bounce well, decides to strike it. That causes chaos in LAFC. Right now they are sharper to the second balls. They know what they want to do with it. They're making aggressive runs, and they are controlling so much of this game.
So Felipe comes in and Bill comes out. Still quality on the ball for Felipe. Ball is out to Guerra. Now Evans takes the shot, and it's reeled in.
This kind of feels like in Miracle when Soviet Union are down for the first time. They don't know how to pull their goalie because they've never been down. So it feels like Bill, your best player, the player that you highlighted, Brazilian youth national team guy, pulls the strings. Hasn't been at his best, but right now Flamengo, they're trying to find answers to questions they haven't had to worry about over the course of this tournament.
Foul. Now a free kick upcoming for Flamengo. Evans shown the yellow card. Schillickman stands behind it. Captain Lemos sends it out to the right. And then a foul by Schillickman.
I think credit to the referee. I think after the penalty kick in the first half, there was some chippiness, and it felt like the game could get out of control. And I think he handled it well, calling it tight, but being understanding as well, talking to some of the players, and it's definitely settled in. It's been all about the soccer.
Saw that tough challenge between David and Diaz. Like you mentioned, having those conversations and keeping things settled.
And you see, though, for David, he's 5-6 inches smaller than Diaz, but holding off the center back with ease as Diaz tries to wrap around him and ends up getting called for the foul. And now Flamengo sending every number forward. They've been dangerous on set pieces. It's been what we've talked about all GA Cup, the mental side of tracking your runners, being ready, understanding your responsibility in set piece defending. That's been a fault for a number of teams.
Lucian clips it in, headed forward, and it's going to be a goal kick.
So that one, well done by LAFC. Everyone matching their man, going up, challenging for it, at least making it tough. Flamengo not able to get on the end of it.
Ball free, now sent forward, and as you mentioned, David earns another free kick with his strength, even at his size.
Yeah, I thought Felipe maybe was going to go in at center forward, and you were going to drop David off here with Bill out and let him run at players. But he is the best center forward probably in this tournament, even at his size. And again, he roots himself. Defenders can't get around him, but you can't let him go because otherwise he'll turn and start running. So right now the safer decision has been to just foul him, which gives a set piece opportunity for Flamengo.
Lamos on it. You've seen it. You mentioned his stocky frame and his ability to hold off defenders, but has shown his speed as well. And now Evans goes out.
Cairo Lumsden coming on here for LAFC. He was the man who came off the bench in the last game.
Flamengo ties it up. LAFC took the lead, but Flamengo closes the gap.
You know how dangerous this Flamengo team is. We've talked about it a couple times. Any opportunity around the 18, if they can get their body shaped up towards the goal, the ball striking ability. We saw Teresa hit a shot earlier from a standstill and still get his laces through it and put some pressure on the goalkeeper, and that one loops perfectly to the far post, dipping at the exact second you needed to bounce up and into the goal. So can LAFC elevate their game once again is the question.
And that's put a charge in the back of Flamengo. Teresa had the game winner versus Houston Dynamo from a similar spot. And now Lucian shown a yellow card.
And this game, the fuse has been lit. It's sitting on the edge, and I think it's going to be a fun one here for the finale. For the finale, you saw on the reaction, David, when that ball went in, down on his knees, celebrating the emotion for this Flamengo side of how much this tournament means. And I think how devastated they were to just go behind.
Not expected at all. And now after tying things up, Teresa has been a goal-scoring machine. Goals in back-to-back matches.
Lumsden, I was saying, came off the bench to set up the winner against SKC in the last game. He can play as a winger. He can play more centrally, but he is a game changer. He's the type of guy who will do something unexpected. He'll go upfield on the half turn instead of coming back and cycling possession, and I think that's what LAFC needs now in this tie game.
Flamengo, who just tied this match. The goal off the boot of Teresa in the 44th minute. James Arteaga sent LAFC into the lead. Flamengo ties things up here in the middle stages of this second half. If we were to go into full time without a winner, then it'll be decided from kicks from the spot. 3 MLS teams already in the semifinals.
LAFC trying to complete that. Philadelphia already knocking off Brazilian opposition earlier today. That would be one of the toughest road to a final if you had to go through both Palmeiras and Flamengo. For the Union, I believe they knocked off Remo Stars yesterday as well, so it would be 3 international sides in a row, but LAFC not thinking about that at all. They've got plenty of time still in this one.
Nearing 10 plus minutes to play. Throw in comes in. Bombino looking for Lumsden, and sliding in was Rafael.
And one of the impressive things about this LAFC team is yesterday it was Bombino flying forward, being an outside winger and being a part of the attack, and it meant Santiago had to play a little safer. Today it's been the reverse, and they've both looked comfortable in both roles.
Lucian just puts it forward. So the pendulum has swung level. New substitutes coming in for Flamengo. Antonio and Guilherme coming in. Ball goes out. Just feels like Flamengo has a hold on this match now after finding the equalizer.
Yeah, you talk about the big 5 minutes, 5 to start a game before and after halftime, but mainly after a goal in any soccer game, but especially in these games where they're a little bit shorter. And so those moments, you have less time to come back. It felt like LAFC, they were on the ascendancy, they get the goal, and then Flamengo was able to push them back, and once Flamengo got the goal, LAFC hasn't really been able to recover. Flamengo started to control things in midfield. That was a bone-crunching tackle.
And you mentioned the physicality of the Brazilian side. And now a free kick upcoming.
Guilherme right off the bench, right into the fray. And I think it's a fair complaint for LAFC that it's at least the yellow card.
So now a chance for LAFC. Getting some hydration. It's very hot out here.
Yeah, it has been a scorcher. Luckily, these games starting 30 minutes later for the late game, and I think that's cooled things down a little bit. But for Flamengo, the game reshifted with a couple set pieces. It was 2 or 3 free kicks in a row in which they were able to push numbers up. LAFC had to get deeper. LAFC was never able to clear out. That's where Flamengo started to create chances. So can LAFC do something similar? Can you be dangerous here? Then if it goes out, can you set up your press if it's a goal kick? If not, can you counter press? Keep the ball in the attacking third and start to turn the pressure on Flamengo a little bit more.
And that looks like it's Radovic.
It feels like Radovic has almost been more comfortable with the pressure of Flamengo throughout this game than he was with the space against SKC, and there's very few players in the world who are like that. And Radovic, I think, has elevated his game here today. We saw him in the first half, really busy. He got himself into the box on a couple through balls. We saw a pullback for a dangerous moment as well. Then he started to cut inside and find some shots himself. He has elevated his game here today. He has led this LAFC attack.
So Radovic will wait to be put back in. The ball sent into the box. And Rafael watches it and takes it down. Now Lucian sends it forward off one touch to Teresa. Teresa always has eyes for goal and laces this one long.
But you know the threat. He's already scored from outside the goal. And you could see for LAFC the recognition that he was the man on the ball, and everyone starts scrambling, trying to get around him. He's still able to get a couple acres of space. It's credit to Pedro, who made the run across that LAFC backline. So now he draws the attention of the center backs who can't step up on Teresa. And that is considered a high-level chance for these Flamengo players.
So Glowacki sends everyone forward. LAFC and up in this half before Teresa tied things. Schillickman with a great slide tackle which starts the break. Now Teresa is on it again. Felipe to his left. Teresa sends it to the middle. A dangerous chance. The ball skipped past Felipe. Now Pedro.
Oh my God.
And a tackle that had to be pristine. Nixon does it.
And right now Flamengo has this LAFC team scrambling. Anytime a player attacking on the dribble, he's got runners going in both directions. LAFC forced to scramble a little bit. It was Santiago tracking his man for the black and gold to make that interception on the pullback.
Guilherme now to take the corner. Sent in, headed forward. The shot loops in, and it's still down. Lucian. Everyone having a chance.
That's what we're talking about with technique. That ball pops up, Lucian hits it clean. It's not on frame, but it's still as good a shot as anyone's going to take from an area like that. And as you said, everyone on this squad is capable of a moment like that. And so for LAFC right now, you're extending your lines because you're trying to close down every single player who could be a potential shooter.
Gabriel got a ball fake.
Flamengo keeps possession. The long throw. David heads it on. A little flick forward, but it's cleared for the moment. David, not enough on it to send it forward. Lumsden. Now to Arteaga, who loses it.
Mango just playing on the front foot now. They were backtracking before, now they're winning tackles.
Again, excellent defense. This one from Guilherme. Felipe makes the turn. And his cross is cleared away, and a corner upcoming.
Diaz is going to earn a well-deserved body armor after this match. He's been on the ground 3 or 4 times, just giving his body up for his team.
So multiple substitutes preparing to come in for LAFC. And defensively for LAFC, giving up their bodies completely.
Yeah, Nixon throwing a header in there. We've seen Santiago make some slide tackles. LAFC defending with everything they have here in the second half.
Ball bounces in the box. This shot, an absolute rocket from Antonio Germano. And Glowacki, who was getting busy in the first half, his punch card is back in here in the second half.
Yeah, he's woken up. He's back on the job here. And again, ball striking ability for this Flamengo side. Not a huge gap, a large distance, but every player on the field, their technique is so clean that when they get their laces through it, this ball just explodes off their foot.
Again, Antonio Germano sends it back into the box. David, after the bicycle attempt from the captain.
Yeah, your center back just going up for a bike kick. That's the Brazilian way.
Go forward, go forward.
Lucian can't complete the maze through. Now Lumsden, his head coach yelling forward, just getting the ball free.
So LAFC we saw yesterday against SKC, they scored in the 57th minute. Right as they went into that goal, they were preparing to bring on their backup goalkeeper for penalty kicks specifically. LAFC getting ready to do it again. Here, tied 1-1.
Radovic sends it wide, kept in, and the throw-in upcoming for LAFC.
When I sang Radovic's praises earlier, those are the simple moments. It feels like an easy pass. I'll just roll it down into the path of Wanchope here, but you have to be efficient and clean with those moments. That's a breakaway. That's an opportunity for LAFC, but you just mentally turn off for a half second. The pass isn't clean enough, and Wanchope not able to take it in on goal.
So Aaron Miono comes in for the final 3 minutes. Stoppage time, that will be added. David. For Miono, who's now in net. Flamengo has been peppering the net, so he might get some work earlier than he might like. Felipe slices it across, but it's taken away. Lubowo sends it well wide.
You better believe Lemos was going to guide that one out, whether it was 5 yards, 10 yards, or 40 yards. The big commanding center back.
Ball goes out for a throw. Again, LAFC looking for the latest of drama here.
And LAFC almost like a basketball team trying to turn this into the last shot of the game, trying to kill the momentum for Flamengo, but also at the same time, find that last chance to get the winner.
Diaz sends it back to Miono. His first touch.
Get up! Touch it!
Ball sent forward to Lumsden. Feels the contact and hits the turf. The free kick upcoming for LAFC.
This is it. This is what you worked for. If you're a young player, this is when you stand out next to a wall, hitting against the garage. You're talking about last chance, last opportunity. A club like Flamengo, a spot in the semifinals. We've seen Flamengo's ball striking. We've seen how dangerous they've been from distance. Right now, Nixon, the center back, lining this up, as is DeCarlo Guerra, the youngest player on the field.
Guerra hits the wall and it rolls out.
I love, once again, from this club, from top to bottom, the confidence in the talent of Guerra and the player that he is.
Martin. Lumsden above everyone. Stays in. Lucian earns the foul. A heady play from the Brazilian.
And in that moment, for this Flamengo side, you're thinking, I don't want to put it out for a corner kick. How do I get out of this? I'll just throw my body in front of the ball and earn a foul.
As the ball is sent forward, still a chance.
A mistake there for LAFC. Don't let this bounce.
And now, we're off to kicks from the mark. The tug of war in the first half turned into goals in the second. And now we have kicks from the spot here to decide a spot in the semifinal.
The tug of war between me and you. You love shootouts. You love this. I'm already stressed. Both these teams deserve to win. Let's replay this game in the semifinal. If they're tied again, we'll call it the final and do it again. What a performance from these two sides. Some of the best skill we've seen, but then it's the combination of everything. The game recognition, the game IQ, the competitive nature, the strength, the physicality. It all wraps in. And that's what you learn at this highest level. You could be great at something, but you have to be good at everything. And I thought both these squads stepped up. LAFC, one of the best performances we've seen. They take it to Flamengo. They take a 1-0 lead, but this team didn't falter. Flamengo found their way back into the game. Set pieces, more aggressive, getting their fullback higher up the field, and eventually able to get the equalizer.
Early on, it was opportunities for Flamengo, but Glowowski had to be called on. Penalty kick for Flamengo. Here it is.
So much happened this game. I forgot this was even part of this match. What a penalty kick save we have already seen. That strong right hand from Glowowski. He doesn't allow a rebound. That, at that moment, felt like for LAFC, this is going to be our day when all of a sudden they were almost down 1-0. DeCarlo Guerra, youngest player on the field, steps high, recognizes the pressing moment, wins the ball back, immediately going forward. He puts this out into the path of Arteaga, and I love that Arteaga didn't do too much with it. Just get a shot across goal. There's bodies running across you. Let it take a deflection and get your opportunity. But this, for Flamengo, was amazing. Teresa, time and again, he came in field, he found shooting opportunities, and he buried that one in the far corner.
So a little free soccer here for you. Our upcoming kicks from the mark to see who's going to have that final spot in the semifinals. Columbus Crew and FC Dallas on the left side of the bracket. Philadelphia waiting for the winner of this matchup. And we saw Bill go out, so he won't be one of the shooters for Flamengo. But the class is there. The striking ability is there from the top all the way down to the bottom of this lineup. And for LAFC, they had substitutes come in, they had a goalie come in, and so we know that they've been prepared for the situation as well.
Yeah, the goalkeeper move, of course, as we talked about, as it happened. Mayo Noah, he comes on. This LAFC team now the second game in a row in which they've prepared him to come in for a penalty kick shootout. But interesting about this LAFC squad, this is a young group that's out there on the field. All the substitutes they made, they were 07s playing up with this 06 group. I've talked about Guerra already, who's an OA playing with this group as well. So quality has no age, but this is a veteran Flamengo side. It's maybe a little bit of a younger LAFC squad, and this right here, it's all about mentality. It's all about being able to handle the pressure. Ricky Espin-Lopez, our partner, talks about it before. The stadium, the field, the name of the team against you. You're on Apple TV, the broadcast. All of this is new to these players. That's why this tournament was put together, to get experience at this level of dealing with moments like this. And your coaches can pick their shooters. They can give you confidence, but you got to step up and do it yourself.
And for the older players who have been here before, there's a confidence that comes in that, but also there's an ignorance that sometimes is bliss for the younger players who just are happy to be in this moment. And so again, the seesaw for the younger and older, and we'll see who ends up on top here between LAFC and Flamengo. So again, kicks from the mark here, deciding who moves on to the semifinals. This is our final match of the day, so why wouldn't we want free soccer here to start? And David.
So it looks like Flamengo will be shooting first. We know the stats. It's a big advantage to be able to set the table, but it's not the end-all, be-all. The earlier shootout we saw at the U17 level, Philadelphia Union shooting second, were able to get the win.
So
Aaron Miono, who has come in. He's in net for LAFC. Came on late in the second half for this moment. David ready to take the penalty, and our officials saying that there needs to be space behind the net.
They're trying to move out. We've got LAFC's U15s, but this is one of the beautiful parts of GA Cup. We start our broadcast 30 minutes after all the other games, so every team that's left here, they are around this field watching this game because they know this is a big moment, a potential moment of excellence to watch some of the best here do their thing.
So have to get the administration right, which only adds to the moment. A little more tension, a little more time. And for a player like David to think about where he might go. For Miono, who has come in, was not tested when he came in, and now has to decide his rate as well.
And Flamengo, they've not been in a shootout here at this tournament, so no tape to watch from this competition. So it'll be interesting to see what Miono came on the field with as research.
And some gamesmanship from the jump with the stoppage of play. Miono walked about 5 steps up to look at David. And the first penalty is stopped. Aaron Miono pays dividends from the jump for LAFC.
And this is a fantastic strike from David. This is not much of a mistake. It is in that area that's a little more comfortable for goalkeepers, lifted off the ground, but not higher than them. But he does hit it to the side. I think it's decent movement on it away from the center spot. Miono reads it perfectly. And then your job's not done. You still have to make the save.
That brings up DiCarlo Guerra. Rafael similarly stepping up to just be a presence in front of Guerra before walking back in between the pipes.
Intimidating presence in that goal.
Guerra, not phased, finishes the first penalty for LAFC.
I may have said it 500 times. I'm going to say it 501. This is the youngest player on this field. He is eligible to compete in the U15 competition here at the GA Cup. He shoots first for LAFC to set the tone. He stares down the goalkeeper, and he buries that one into the corner. We are looking at the birth of a star here in DiCarlo Guerra, and what a way to set the tone for this LAFC squad.
That brings up Pedro. Miono already has one stop here in this penalty shootout. Fooled on the second attempt.
You see Pedro trying to get the energy back into his team. It feels at times in this game for Flamengo when it's gone against them, they've dropped their passion. They've looked so worried when they went down 1-0. You saw the release when they scored. And I think for Pedro, trying to get the belief back into his side, we're down 1-0 in this shootout. At the time, that's not that much, and I think he's trying to revitalize this squad. So credit to Pedro, trying to be a leader.
Now Adrian Wabowo played well for LAFC, got into some great areas, but now the only area to worry about is 12 feet away.
Yeah, I think a brave performance today from Wabowo, trying to take players on, trying to make things happen.
Short run up, and a special shot. Top class from Wabowo.
This game, these teams, these players. I talked about everything. The pressure, the broadcast, the stadium, the fans, the opposition. perfect penalty in the top corner. That's how you handle that. What a moment there for Wabowo.
2-1 here, and this kicks from the mark. Schillickman now steps up. Another stop for Miono.
What a moment here for LAFC. Schillickman, the no-nonsense defensive midfielder. Similar shot to David. It's off the ground, but it's in the perfect height for Miono. That doesn't make it easy, though. He reads it once again. He does a good job with his hands to force it away. And he has set a special stage for his team. What a performance right now.
Shakir Nixon puts his team well in front now.
That felt classic for Nixon. Slides while taking the shot. He has given his body up time and again in this game. He's been immense at the right center back spot. And he steps up with confidence to put this one in.
Now Teresa, the goal scorer today. The goal scorer yesterday. Put his team ahead versus Houston to bring them to this point. Tied this match to send us to kicks from the mark. Now a necessary shot to keep his team alive. Stopped! Miono stops the third and sends his team to the semifinals. Jubilation for LAFC as they knock off Flamengo in penalties. And was there any question? Aaron Miono, ADIDAS man of the match.
Quantity over quality. He didn't need a lot of minutes. He didn't need any touches. He comes off the bench as a PK specialist, and he saves 4 shots from Flamengo. He went to his right, he went to his left, and this save back across the middle, his trailing foot, enough to keep it out. What a performance. What a day.
Aaron Miono comes in the late stages of this match for one reason, and that reason was to send his team to the semifinals. And a bit of gamesmanship for Miono. Confidence, high confidence for Miono. And that's what it takes in these types of moments. And he showed it.
What a performance for him. What a game for LAFC. They had to struggle in the first half. They take the lead, but then it gets taken away. And they're still able to survive when it's tough and get to penalty kick shootouts and show what they're made of.
So in all MLS semifinals, Columbus Crew and FC Dallas on one side, LAFC and Philadelphia Union on the other, and this was the tough side. So thank you so much for joining us. This has been wonderful.